Hello and welcome back. My name is Rasha and I am an English teacher. I am here today in this episode of Speak Up to talk about childhood. For those who don't know Speak Up, it's a series of episodes that I choose some topics, common topics, to talk about. And we try to talk about these topics in a natural way. And to sound natural, we need phrasal verbs, we need idioms. So let me remind you of the word phrasal verbs. Phrasal verbs are very common and are really good way to make yourself sound more natural when speaking English, especially informal English. They can be difficult, but we can work it out by knowing how to use them. First, a phrasal verb is a phrase that consists of a verb with a preposition or an adverb or both, the meaning of which is different from the meaning of its separate parts, like pay for, work out, make up for. They are all phrasal verbs. So, as you can see here, phrasal verb can be 2 words, it can be 3 words. How to use it? We use it as we use any verb. Sometimes it needs an object, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes we put the object in between, between the verb and the adverb or the preposition, and sometimes we put it after. How do we know this? By practicing. Let's have a look. So, back to our topic for today, childhood. And as we agreed, we are going to use some phrasal verbs to talk about our childhood to make our English more natural and to have some expressions in mind. We don't need to translate, we don't need to memorize phrasal verbs or expressions that we're not going to use. We are going to use these expressions within a context. Listen and have a look with me at these 2 dialogues between 2 people talking about their childhood. Here is the first conversation between Vicky and Colin, and they are talking about Colin's childhood. Vicky starts. I'd like to start by talking about your early life, your childhood. My childhood? Yes, I want to take you back to remember your childhood. So, we are going back in time? Yes, and on the journey we will be meeting lots of phrasal verbs, so let's take you back in time now. So, Colin, where were you born? I was born in Scotland. And where did you live as a child? Well, I grew up in a town called New Milton, which is on the south coast of England, between Bournemouth and Southampton. So, you grew up there. You spent your childhood there? And what kind of upbringing did you have? Were your parents strict with you? I guess my parents didn't really bring me up too strictly. Okay, guys, you can see here some phrasal verbs. I guess you can see them because they are in bold. To take you back. To take somebody back. To grow up. To grow up. And to bring somebody up. Let's have more examples. These examples are supposed to make the meaning more clear for you. To take someone back. That soup smells great. It really takes me back to my childhood because my mom used to make chicken soup if I was ill. To grow up. I was born in Britain, but I grew up in Hong Kong because my parents moved there when I was a baby. To bring up. I'd like to bring my children up in the countryside because it's good to have fresh air when you are growing up. To bring up. I was brought up to believe you should never lie. Now I hope that you get the meaning right by now and you can pause and read the examples again. Now I would like you to have a look at these examples and try to use them about yourself. Have your time and you can write your examples in the comments. That would be great. Now moving on to the second conversation. Vicky's thoughts. So, your upbringing, the way your parents brought you up, wasn't too strict. Well, I was always told to be polite and to have respect and so on, but they tried to let me make my own mistakes. I think it was because they wanted me to be able to stand up for myself. Well, yes, being able to stand up for yourself, being independent and confident is important. Yeah, you need to stand up for yourself in this world. Anyway, what about brothers, sisters? Do you have any? Yes, I have got an older brother and a younger sister. Do you get on with them? Yes, we get on well. We have a great time when we see each other. So you get on well now. But what about when you were children? Did you ever used to fight? Well, sometimes, of course. But even as children, we got on quite well. We used to play together a lot. Well, you were very lucky. I didn't get on with my brother very well at all when we were children. We used to argue about everything. End of conversation. Here are more examples to clarify the meaning a little bit more. To stand up for yourself. You really should stand up for yourself more. Don't let your friends tell you what to do so much. To get on with. I like most of my colleagues, but I just don't get on very well with Susan. Okay then, here we go. There is this simple exercise. It's a multiple choice. You should choose the correct answer for each question. Read it carefully. Try to find out the right answer. Evaluate yourself, then have a look at the answers. Don't forget to pause, have your time, take a look, and you can give me feedback in the comments. So, how was it? Here is the key answer. I hope you find it useful. One more thing to tell you about. We have a part 2 talking about family and childhood and giving you more examples and more idioms and phrasal verbs to use to sound more natural, to find it easier to express yourself in English with confidence. So stay tuned. Very well then, that would be all for today. I hope you enjoyed the lesson. I hope it was useful. Don't forget to have fun with phrasal verbs and goodbye.